Yo, what is up guys, and welcome to another Wild Rift video. And in today's video I have an insanely intense Ezreal video in the Dragon Lane, and it's gonna be played by Trust. And I'm sure you guys are familiar with these pro players now, and he told me that this game was insane. It was really close, and that he made a lot of mistakes as well. So of course I'm gonna be talking about all of that. And yet again, I would love to hear your feedback on these types of videos, because obviously I keep trying out some other stuff to see what you guys enjoy, right? So that's the whole point. So there are timestamps in the description to skip to the gameplay. Now let me explain to you guys how to build Ezreal. So there's really two builds on Ezreal. This one against full armor, full AD. Now I'm just quickly gonna go through it. Like Man Immune, Iceborne Gauntlet. You go for armor boots, not the Glutinous Greaves. That's a mistake. You always go for armor boots. And then here, Blade of the Rune King, Mortal Reminder. You can go for Cerulah's Grudge if you want to. But, sorry, I was going to say, you can go for Cerulah's Grudge if you want, like, ultra slows. But obviously, because you have the Iceborne Gauntlet, you shouldn't, like, unless you really want slows. But 99% you don't, so Mortal Reminder is going to be better. Also because Iceborne Gauntlet gives you AoE damage, which, of course, will apply the anti-healing. Blade of the Rune King, and then Guardian Angel. This is going to be your build. And for your enchantment, it's, whatever you need. Very likely Stasis. For the runes, in this build, you go for Conqueror, Hunter Vampirism, and then here is Situational. You do want the Mana Flow Band, however. For the normal Ezreal build, it's different. You go for Mana Mune, Trinity Force. There are different ways to build Ezreal, and I'm quickly going to go over them. But the main way is start off with a Mana Mune immediately, and then go for the Trinity Force. The other way would be, oh, oops, not this. You can start off with a Tear of Goddess and immediately build into the Trinity Force. This is, like... This will make you weaker during the first dragon, but it will make you much stronger when you finish off the Trinity Force. Like, much stronger. So, you have to decide yourself, do you want to be strong during dragon, or do you want to be strong a little bit later on in the game? That's the whole thing. I pretty much always go Mana Mune first. I know some Ezreal players like to go for Tear of Goddess, Trinity Force. It's not my thing. Also, never ever build Divine Sunderer. It is not worth it for a ranged champion like Ezreal. Third item is going to be a Blade of the Rune King. Then you go for Cerulah's Grudge. Pretty much always Cerulah's Grudge, because the slow is just invaluable when you play Ezreal. It's really strong. And then here you go for the Guardian Angel. For the boots, you can go for Ionian Boots of Lucidity. You can go for the Glutinous Greaves if you're up against a lot of poking champions. Like, if you're up against an Orianna, Caitlyn, Ziggs, those types of champions. Glutinous Greaves is going to be great, because you can heal up when you get poked. Also in your lane, like you attack minions, you heal up. Mercury Spheres are playable if the enemy has a lot of CC. And then, of course, plated steel caps, if you need armor. Pretty much any boots are playable, except for the Boots of Fury. Now, for the enchantments, you can go for Stasis Enchant, QSS, whatever you need. But it's likely going to be one of those two. For the runes, you go for Kraken Slayer. Now, Kraken Slayer is much better when you play this Ezreal, because it does so much damage. Early game, it does a lot of burst damage. Like, hitting 3 attacks in a row really hurts the enemy. Like, the true damage is just going to apply a lot more damage. Also, when you're poking the enemy and you hit them all the time, you're going to be hitting the Kraken Slayer on them too. Like, if you're a really good Ezreal player, Kraken Slayer is going to be amazing for you. And of course, in the late game, it's really nice for shredding front lines. Like, if the enemy Garen goes in, for example, and tries to face tank your entire team, you're going to do quite a lot more damage to him because you have a Kraken Slayer. Of course, it's not like game changing, but the true damage is going to accumulate because basic attack, first ability, basic attack, you know what I mean? So you have very big attack speed in the late game with Ezreal, because when you get your 4 stacks up, the 4 stacks when you hit enemies with your abilities, you're going to get 40% bonus attack speed. So that's why in the late game, you can see how a Kraken Slayer is going to be very nice. It's gonna give you more damage than a Conqueror against tanks. Here you go for Brutal early game. It's a very brutal early game rune, because you're going to brutally abuse the enemies in the early game when you go for the Brutal rune. The damage is just brutal. Okay, enough. I don't even know what I'm saying. Yeah, your first ability applies Brutal, because Ezreal's first ability applies on-hit effects. Man, I really need to go to the barber. This is crazy. Like, wow. Look at my hair. What's going on up there? Here you go for Bone Plating. Yet again, early game. And then Mana Flow Band. You always go for Mana Flow Band. I mean, you can go for Sweet Tooth, but Mana Flow Band literally gives you more damage in the late game. Like, you're only sacrificing early game lane power, but you're already compensating for it by going for Kraken Slayer, Brutal, and Bone Plating. So unless you have like an insanely hard matchup in lane, if you have like a really hard matchup, you can go for Sweet Tooth. Otherwise, just go for Mana Flow Band. And then spells, you go for Exhaust and Flash. So that is it about the build. Let's now get into the gameplay. Let's see, is it all good? It should be good. Yeah, sorry for the freezing, now it should be fine. So let's take a look at what happens. He's playing with Random, by the way. The Echo in his team is Random, who is also one of the best players in Europe. And he said they both, kind of screwed up. They both kind of screwed up this game. So let's take a look at what happens. By the way, Braum Ezreal is a really, really good combo because Ezreal can very easily proc Braum's stun. So whenever Braum goes in, Ezreal can follow very, very easily. Right here already, we can see what he was talking about. Like, Ezreal is good early game with the poking. I love how he blames Braum here. Okay, let's actually go back. Because don't get me wrong. If the Braum was in the bush with him, they would have completely destroyed the enemy. Okay, it's true. But the Braum was not in the bush. So at that point, when you're playing Ezreal, you want to run away. And to be fair, he did run away. But he took a lot of damage because, yeah, they just did a lot of damage to him. So who was here to blame? They were just not on the same page. Like, they should have pinged each other. Like, he should have pinged the Braum to go in. Like, you know what the thing is? When you're in high elo, which is non-existent right now, of course, in Wild Rift, but when you were in high elo, it was kind of like a non-verbal agreement that if you have an aggressive duo, you would camp the enemy bush. Like, if you are Braum, you will go aggressive. You will go in the enemy bush and you will look for a fight. It was just a thing you just do without even pinging it. You just do it. But because of the way that Wild Rift matchmaking is right now, you have these players that are not as good at their champions in high elo now, and this Braum didn't get it. So I feel like Trust just kind of forgot that is the way that it works now, and he just went for it because he knew that him and Braum are gonna destroy the brand and Kai'Sa. And it's true. That's what would have happened. But because it's like this, because the matchmaking is like this now, it doesn't work, unfortunately. He had to ping him. He just should have pinged him. Now you can see he's being punished because he took a lot of damage at that level 1. And he was forced to take a Sweet Tooth. So now the enemies will bully him. Even though the enemies are a bit weaker than him early game, they have better poking potential. Like, the only way Ezreal and Braum can win fights like this is all-ins. Like, if Braum all-ins with his first ability, stuns the enemy, that's the only way they can win fights. Poking, they're never gonna win. Like, they're never gonna win. But all of this happened because of that level 1 screw up. All of this. You see, all of this happened because of it. Like, now look, he's at 60% health, which is not a lot. It's not tragic, but because of him being so low, he has to play passive. And the Braum is, of course, constantly gonna get poked in his lane. So, the way you want to play a lane like this is you just want to chill. Like, you screw up, it's okay. After that, as you can see, Trust is just playing it very, very passively. You can screw up, it's a human mistake. And now he's just standing back. And Ezreal is really, really good at doing this, by the way. Just farm with your first ability. Just farm with your first ability. Stay as far away from the enemies. If they have an aggressive support like a Brand, like a Nami, like a Soraka, something like that, and you're low, just stay away. Try to last hit minions with your first ability, and that's it. That's it. That's all you want to do. And here you can see, when you get opportunities to poke the enemy, just poke. And here you can see, really beautiful ultimate. And I actually want to ask you guys to test your knowledge. Why am I saying that this was an absolutely phenomenal ultimate? There's one reason for it. Like, one thing that he did that makes this ultimate infinitely better. I want you guys to pause the video right now, test your knowledge, put it in the comments, watch it again, and I'll tell you. So pause the video, I'm gonna reveal it right now. So take a look at how he ults, okay? Besides the fact that he pushed the wave, it's good to push waves with ultimate like this early game, but look at what he did. He walks into the bush, so the enemy doesn't see what's happening, and then he hits this double man ultimate, and he pushes the wave with it as well. This means he pushes Kai'Sa and Brand back a little bit. Like, you can say it's not worth it, you're wasting your ultimate. But if he doesn't ult here, you know what's going to happen? They're going to shove the wave. They can backport it, they'll be here faster, or they can apply pressure, you know what I mean? They can do all these bad things, but because he's ulting like this, he's getting both of them at a low amount of HP, he's getting all of the minions at a low amount of HP, which means he can finish off the minions very easily, and it just gives them a massive advantage, which is worth wasting your ultimate for. So let's actually take a look at what happens in the game. He hits both of them. As I said, the minions are low now. So now he could push the wave much more easily and backport. There you go. You see? There you go. That's exactly what he does. And this is fine because now there is a difference. Now he's gonna backboard and be there before the enemy. You see? This is totally fine. His ultimate is on like a 60-second cooldown when he used it, but don't let it deceive you. Every time you hit your first ability on when you play Ezreal, you're reducing all of your cooldowns by 1.5 seconds, including your ultimate. Like if you don't believe me, pay attention to the ultimate's cooldown. Whenever he last hits the main, look, boom, ult goes from 26 to 24 seconds. It reduces all of your cooldowns by 1.5 seconds. So don't let a long Ezreal cooldown, Ezreal ultimate cooldown deceive you too much, because it gets reduced whenever you hit your first ability. So that was a very important lesson on like how it can sometimes be good to just push your wave with your ultimate as an Ezreal. That particular situation, it was a very, very nice move. Right here, they could actually get a kill. If Braum just ults the Braum, it would have been a... Oh my god. If Braum had just ulted one of them really fast and used his first ability, as like Trust would have just demolished that player. Absolutely demolished. This is random, by the way. As I said, this is a really, really nice player. Here you can see he does it again. Yet again, he's just trying to push the wave and just apply some sort of pressure. Do some damage so random can possibly gank. You can see that's the way he's using his ultimate right now here. Because there's no other way that he can use it. And the way he can get away with, the reason that he can get away with it, oh, he missed that one, is because, as I said, he reduces his cooldown by 1.5 seconds every time. You can get away with using your Ezreal ultimates like that. He could possibly use his third ability here just to deal damage. And then go back. But it's fine. Now he can go back, get himself the Mana Mune, and get his Ionian boots as well. Actually, he shouldn't go boots. He should go Sheen. Okay, interesting. So, I wonder what his thought process is right here. Because, for me, not sure how other Ezreal players think. To me, it's like 100% Sheen whenever you can get Sheen. Because it just gives you so much more damage on your first ability. It's an insane power spike to get Mana Mune plus Sheen. But it seems like he prioritizes the glutinous griefs early on. So he wants the movement speed and the healing. I can see why. But again, I would always go Sheen. So it's interesting to see him make a different doing something different, right, than what I would have done. Very interesting, actually. Really curious how these boots are worth it over the Sheen. I mean, you could see throughout the fight that he was healing up all the time. So I guess you could say it's worth it, right? And of course, the movement speed. Like, you're sacrificing movement speed when you go for Sheen. By the way, when you play Ezreal, whenever you can, like, if you get close to the turret, hit your second ability on the turret. It does a lot of damage to turrets. So whenever you can, if you're close to turrets, try to hit it on the turret. Like, it's better to hit it on the turret than to hit it on the enemy champion, because it chunks down turrets really, really fast. I mean, here he wants to go back. Like, there's no reason to go for this. He could ult it, but it's already too late for the ultimate. Like, the reason that he should go back is because Random, as you can see on the Echo, decided to go for the Rift Herald instead and take the top lane turret, which is a totally fine approach. And he doesn't, like, Trust doesn't waste his time. He just goes back. Like, don't try to take two objectives in a stupid way like that. If your jungler is taking the Herald and you can't fight for the dragon, just go back. Like, don't be stupid. Don't waste your time. I see so many lower elo players wasting their time. Like, they think they can get everything. They think they can somehow steal the dragon from the enemy jungler. He could win this if he hits everything. He misses, so he goes back. And Kai'Sa did use her exhaust, so he could... Yeah, now he can go aggressive. He has to be careful. I'm not sure if Kai'Sa used her ultimate, actually. Oh, nice one by Aatrox right there. He's missing a minion at his turret, by the way. Not sure if he saw that. This is such a massive power set. He goes for stasis? Really early stasis. So, actually, I get why he does that. Because if you look at this enemy composition, Brand, first of all, stasis is really good into Brand. Because if Brand, you know, applies all of his abilities on you and it explodes and you're gonna die, you can stasis the explosion. Diana, when she goes in and uses her ultimate, you can stasis. Vex, when she ults into you, you can stasis it. So I completely understand this early stasis, this particular game. It absolutely makes sense into this enemy. Like, look here, boom! The second ability does a lot of damage to the turret. Oh, that was a nice dodge, actually. Stasis. Like, here he could stasis if he wanted to. It seems like he didn't. Yeah, I mean, even if he stasis, he would have probably died. But that would have been a good stasis to use right there to block the Brand ultimate damage. But again, he would have probably still died right there. They didn't have vision. Like they got counter ganked. He thought that it was them ganking, but then they got counter ganked. Like that's what happened right there. It's really, really important to have proper vision before you make plays like that. And that's what cost them right there. This Atrox is going crazy, by the way. This guy's going crazy. Oh, he hit the Brand, but unfortunately not the Kai'Sa. Oh, that's tragic, actually. The Atrox just gave a 550 gold bounty to that guy. Not sure why he's taking this jungle. Like, I would have shoved this wave as fast as I could. It seems like he's taking the... Yeah, okay. He realized it as well. Like, he realized that the reason that you don't want to take the jungle right there is because you want to shove this wave fast. And if you go for that jungle, you're literally going to lose more farm in your lane. So he realized his mistake. He just took the big one and then he went to the lane. Maybe it wasn't even a mistake, because at the end of the day, he actually got more gold out of it, because he took the jungle and he took the lane. So I guess you could say it was actually a good jungle take. He only took half of the jungle, and then he took his entire wave as well. So yeah, like at the end of the day, he actually got more out of it than what than what I said. Here he just needs to defend the mid lane. I'm expecting him to play this a little bit passively because it's very dangerous to engage into like a Vex and a Brand. So just push the wave with your first ability. Here you can see it, right? Like this is the beauty of Ezreal. If you want to be aggressive, you can be aggressive. Like here you can be aggressive. Oh my! What the hell is this Braum doing? What? What was that? Oh, close. By the way, you can flash combo Ezreal's ultimate if you didn't know already. You just use your ultimate and then you flash. Just so you guys know. It can be a really, really nice combo to do because enemies will never see it coming that you change the direction last second, last millisecond even. So very, very good combo to know when you play Ezreal. It's a free Rift Herald. Random is a little bit low, but it's fine. You can just use the second ability and tank it up entirely. They could take a free mid lane turret right here. Kai'Sa, if she overextended just a little bit more, he could have killed her. You can get Trinity Force, by the way. But in this situation, it's better to just push the turret. Or just apply pressure. Try to apply pressure to the enemy team. Oh. Stasis? Very nice stasis right there. Really, really nice stasis right there. Beautiful. Perfect timing. Oh, that was not as beautiful. To me. Ah! He could... Ah, never mind. I was gonna say he could ult here, but random ulted out, so it's fine. Now, this is the big Ezreal power spike. This is basically one of the biggest power spikes Ezreal can get, which is getting that Trinity Force, especially if you get it a little early on. Because now his first ability is really gonna hurt a lot. Rengar just shredded that dragon in a couple seconds. What the hell? Dragon just spawned and Rengar already got it. Yeah, yet again, he wants to apply pressure to the mid lane. What he did right there, he just quickly checked whether the blue buff was up. Right, you can do that with Ezreal, just by using your first ability over walls. You can just very quickly check if stuff is up. For example, you can also check whether the enemy has leashed the dragon. Like, you can shoot it at the dragon, and if it doesn't hit the dragon, you know 100% for sure that they are taking the dragon. It's a good ultimate right here. Like, using your ultimate as an Ezreal is really, really nice when the enemy is CC'd. You know, because he knew Braum would ult there. Using his ultimate right there was very nice. It's just an instant hit. To be a little bit careful here. But Vex already used her ultimate. Now he can just all-in her. Second ability, first ability. Exactly. There you go. And now third ability. Doesn't even have to use it, actually. He should be fine here because he does have barrier. Like, I'm sure he's kind of trying to bait the Diana. Exactly. Barrier or third ability. That's the beauty of Ezreal. You see, like, he was not afraid here because he knew what his champion can do. And especially as an Ezreal, you shouldn't be afraid, you know? For example, You shouldn't be afraid of Blitzcranks, right? Because if Blitzcrank hooks you, you can just use your third ability out of his hook. There's many champions that Ezreal should not be too afraid of, because you can just escape whatever CC they put on you with that beautiful third ability of his. Now Brand he should be a little bit scared of, because it's a really strong, it's a good champion into Ezreal. But now, oh my goodness, oh my, I need to rinse my eyes with some bleach right here. What the hell? What is even happening? How do you miss your Braum abilities like that? Every single time. How is that even possible? Actually just, oh yes, stasis and a barrier. Right here, he could try to be sneaky. But there is a, like, he can 1v1 Diana here. He can definitely 100,000,000% 1v1 Diana here. But not Rengar. Yeah. So the reason that he can 1v1 Diana is because he had stasis, he had barrier, and he's Ezreal. When you get chased by a melee champion like that, you can just use your first ability to constantly hit them. Like, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the short video that I've uploaded on this YouTube channel where I did a 1 versus 3 against a Nami, Fizz, and a Shen. Remember when the Shen was chasing me? I was 1 HP on Ezreal and the Shen was full HP. All I did was just use my first ability constantly on him. Also, second ability, if you're able to hit it, it's a bit more advanced, but constantly doing that, you can destroy whoever is chasing you. Combine that with a Cyrilda's Grudge, and you know, you're gonna do even more damage and even more slowing and everything. Is that one gonna hit? Ooh, close. By the way, guys, make sure you give the video a like. It really supports the channel. Like, it really supports the channel if you want to. I mean, honestly, does it really support the channel at this point? It's not like there's millions of Wild Rift viewers waiting to watch the videos, right? So it's yeah, I mean, yeah, you know what? It really doesn't. It really... Does it support? No, I guess it does. Because even existing viewers are gonna get more videos if they get more... Yeah, okay, you know what? It does, yeah. If you want to support the channel, make sure you give the video a like and put a comment under the video. Give feedback. I really want to hear your thoughts. Because, of course, this is a bit of a different approach. He told me, you know, he didn't play as well this game. But because I asked him for it, you know, he's sending me this video as well. So I wonder what you guys think of this as well. Man, that Vex is annoying. Oh my god. Oh, tragic. It's actually tragic. That could be a kill with his ultimate. Maybe a little too late. Oh, it's not too late. It's not too late, baby. Look at that. Perfect ultimate right there. Beautiful. And it seems like he went for Cyrilda's Grudge before Blade of the Rune King, which means he wants to shred more armor and do more burst damage. Cyrilda's Grudge is going to allow you to do more poking and more burst damage. But Blade of the Rune King gives you sustained damage. So it seems like he wants to one-shot the enemies, which makes complete sense with his composition. Because he has an Echo in his team, right? And the Echo is a really good player. So he knows that they're going to be focusing more on one-shotting the enemy than actually chunking down enemies. Also, the enemies don't really have that many beefy, like, big HP champions. All of them are lower HP. So Blade of the Rune King is not going to be as useful. What the hell are you doing, Braum? I swear to God, this Braum just... What is he doing in this elo? What is wrong with this game? How can a player be so bad at a champion and be in a game with Trust and Random? These two are among the best players of Europe, and they're getting a Braum that doesn't even know how his abilities work. Like, what? How is that possible? He got close to the dragon, so he's doing a Baron. He's doing 50% damage to it. Shouldn't have gotten too close to it. Oh my god, Rengar. He just destroyed Echo and stole the Baron. It's really hard to secure a dragon against or Baron or anything against a Rengar. Rengar has a lot of burst damage. So does Echo, but as an Echo, it has to be calculated. You know, you have to calculate your third attack to get that burst damage. But Rengar just goes in like, and it just destroys the Baron. Rengar, believe it or not, by the way, Rengar, I believe, is the fastest Baron taker in the game. Is he the fastest? And the fastest Dragon taker in the game. Dragon, I am not sure because Shyvana does a lot of damage to dragons. But Baron, I'm like 99% sure Rengar is the fastest Baron taker. Master Yi could maybe be faster than him because Master Yi has true damage. Let's just say both of them are the fastest at taking Baron. Just an interesting fact. Like even with the 50% damage reduction, Rengar does so much damage that he can just take the Baron. And in late game, he can even take the Baron by himself. It's crazy. He has some lifesteal. It's a blue buff. It's gonna be very helpful for him. Have this blue buff. He needs to go to the red buff as well. Because his red buff is gonna be running out soon. Take that red buff and be ready for a fight. Enemy Baron is also gonna be running out sometime soon. So it's gonna be a very good preparation for the next fight. He has a blue buff, he has a red buff. Random has a blue buff and a red buff. They just need to wait a little bit for the Baron to run out. And that's it. Like, then they can fight. Ah, Braum died. That's horrible. That's that frontliner that just died. Why would you die right there? Like, what is this Braum doing? It's actually just tilting me. Wow. Boom. He instantly punished the Vex right there. You see that? Vex went in with her ultimate and he instantly punished. Okay, that is too much. That is way too much to go in like that. But Stasis saved his ass. Really good timing on his abilities, however. He has flash. There you go. Very, very nice. Like, as he said, he did make some mistakes. Like, that was honestly... I mean, was it really too much? Because he did stasis, right? So, I would still say it's too much. Like, he could have played it a bit more safely and saved his stasis. But it seemed like he just tried to bait the enemies right there. Like, he went in and then he stasis, right? So, they were overextended. And I don't think they can end the game. Yeah, I don't think... Never mind. They're totally ending the game because Echo used his ultimate. Wow. Damn. Alright, well, that's game over. Very, very interesting game. Let's take a look at how much damage he did and all of that. He's already at master rank. Huh. Better than 93.55% of Ezreal players. Pretty good. He did 35.6 thousand damage. I random did 40,000 damage. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts on it. And I will see you all in the next Wild Rift video. Bye bye.